Welcome back. In this video, we're going to create some UI for our game. UI is used to make games' main menus. So it's basically the game's text elements, buttons the player can click on, but it can also be a crucial part of gameplay, indicating to the player his character's health, or it can be used to make inventories and lots more. For the purpose of this small game, we're only going to make some UI to display the player's health, as well as a loose screen that the player can use to quickly restart the game. To create UI, we first need to create something called a canvas. And everything UI related, so text and buttons for example, will be stored inside of this canvas. In the inspector, you'll see a canvas scaler component. Make sure to set the UI scale mode to scale with screen size, and then type in here the width and height dimensions of your project. You can see those dimensions right up here. For example, I've got my game view set to a 3:2 aspect ratio. I can of course change this whenever I like, and you'll notice how my game view changes in size. So I'll type in here 300 and 200 to match up with my 3:2 aspect ratio. Now our UI will scale properly with the screen size. So I'm going to create a UI image, and you'll notice a white square pop up inside of the scene. We can of course click here to choose whatever sprite we like inside of our project to act as the image. I'll choose this cartoony heart I created in Photoshop. Now we can of course scale this UI image by left clicking on the edges and dragging, or move it around by left clicking inside it and dragging it as well. I would like the player's health UI to be located at the top left corner of the screen. If you zoom out, you'll see that the screen is represented by the white outline. So I'll just move my image to the top left corner, hit play, and indeed my image is nicely placed right where I want it. However, if I change the screen size, for example, to an aspect ratio of 16:9, you'll notice that my heart is no longer placed at the top left corner of the screen. To make sure that the UI remains firmly in place regardless of the game view size, I need to select my heart image and use this. So I'll left click on it and then hold down Shift plus Alt, and now I can click on any of these 9 boxes to snap my UI image to any part of the screen. For example, I'll click on the top left one, and indeed the heart snaps to that part of the screen. And if I change the screen size, it still remains in that top left corner. And note that once you've done that, you can move it around a bit to change its location slightly. Okay, now that we have the heart image done, we will create another UI element, some text. Again, I'll snap it to the top left corner of the screen, and move it slightly to the right of the heart so that we can see it clearly. Now, a lot of settings here are self-explanatory, such as the size of the font and making the text bold or italic. The white rectangle here represents how much space the text adds to display itself. So if, for example, you use the text to write a very long sentence, it might get cut off, so you'll need to scale up that rectangle to leave the text more room. However, we'll just be using this UI text element to display the player's current health value. To do so, we're going to need to jump inside of the player script. So to code anything UI related inside of Unity, we first need to add a namespace up here. So using unity.engine.ui. Once that's done, we can create UI variables and edit those. So I'll make a public variable of type text called health display. And then inside of the start function, we'll set the health display text to be equal to the health variable. And don't forget to add .toString to convert the health number into text. In other words, the UI text will now read a number equal to the player's health value. Anyway, I'll now copy this line of code and paste it inside of the take damage function. This way, the health display text will update itself once the player has taken damage. I could have just typed out this line instead of the update function, since that's called every single frame, but for performance reasons, it's a bit better to just get this line of code only running when really necessary. Great, now see the script and let's go back to Unity. I'll now select my player and drag and drop the health text inside of that empty slot in the inspector. And I'll hit the play button, and as expected, the text now displays the character's health value. So if he takes damage, the text will clearly show that. And that will mark the end of this video, guys. In part 2 of creating the game's UI, we'll make a simple main menu and loose screen. I'll see you over there. Cheers!